What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we are going to do a little mashup yet again. We're going to run it back, you guys. The last time that we talked about TOSHI, we talked about Turbo as well. We're going to do a little Turbo TOSHI 2-for-1 in this video. It's a lot of T's there. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Had a lot of positive feedback on that. I think there's a lot of you who invest in both of these projects, which is great. Or maybe you're just curious about both of them. You want to compare them. I don't know how it is, but let's look at this on MEXC. Okay. TOSHI, we're going to start off with TOSHI. We'll finish it up with Turbo. TOSHI's up 7.7% today. Phenomenal. Great. Love to see it. You're done with this area, this low area here, where you're finding support essentially at prior areas of resistance here. You had a massive move up, a little bit of a drawback because of that, and now you're moving back up again. Typically what happens is, something like this, somebody fat fingers it, they send in a fat buy order. They realize how much of the market that they pumped up there, and they're just waiting to buy back in. They're probably going to start buying here. And then as we get to this point here, as we get to about 0.00095 right here, and at this high point here, 3095, 201, as we get to that zone, we should see this thing pick up the pace again. I very much do expect TOSHI's going to go for maybe not another day where it's up 51% like this, but it's going to go for another move similar to that, where we do see some exceptional growth in a very short amount of time. Enough talk. Let's look at the indicators here. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, you can see that there's some nice volume coming in there. A little bit of volume on the sell side, to be fair, but you ate that back up pretty quickly. Bullish engulfing candle to get right back up here. Can't help but think, and look at that, the volume here on this candle, there's actually a little bit of a wick. Half that candle, over half that candle is a wick, actually, so that looks pretty good. I would think that you continue to go higher. Absolutely. I mean, lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price, hidden bullish divergence, stochastics are bullish. The MACD flipped red, and you didn't do anything with it, man. What'd you do? You formed a double bottom? Great, cool, perfect, moving higher. 4 hour time frame here, definitely breaking out of your downtrend. You can see it here. Lower highs, lower lows. It's a bit odd. Typically, whenever you do this and you move sideways, typically you would go lower, but hey, whatever. You didn't. This is very bullish, and this is just the beginning. When you have something that's clearly going to take you lower, but you don't do it, this is slow, right? Think of this. This might seem fast. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you're watching this right now, from a low point to a high point there, 17.5%. Right now, we're up 15%. It seems like 2 days ago we were at affordable prices. Now we're at 15%. What happened? This is moving too fast. No, this is the slow part. And understand what I'm trying to say here. This is based on my experience with technical analysis and watching charts for about 10 years now. What I'm trying to tell you is that when you have a moment like this, where you're clearly in a downtrend, where you're moving down, you move sideways, you clearly should move down. The odds are in your favor that you should move down, but you just don't do it. You slowly start to taper off, and this is actually pretty fast, but typically you do slowly start to taper off and go the opposite direction. And then before you know it, it gets away from you. FOMO sets in. People here right now are still in the belief that they're going to get lower prices. But when that belief shifts, when you take out this high, whenever you start to make moves at a little bit more of a dramatic pace, the FOMO, all the interest that people had to buy down here but at slightly lower prices, they're like, they've got that punch in the gut feeling right now. They feel like they missed their opportunity. They're going to feel it even more here, and they're not going to be able to control themselves. They're going to FOMO and send this thing through the roof. Once you get above about 309, you should be having a good time. Again, the pace right here is picking up a little bit, but it's nothing yet. That's everything that I just took a second out to say. It's nothing compared to what's about to happen. This is great. This is fun. You're up 15% over the last couple days. Great. It's going to get better. It's going to get a lot better, man. 4 hour time frame. The RSI is fantastic. Overbought. Stochastic, same thing. And the MACD crossing above the zero. We love it. All positive implications there. There's no doubting that at all. You look robust. Absolutely, you do. Not even yet, man. You're going to get there. Daily time frame bouncing off the 50. Love it. Stochastics bouncing off the oversold zone. Love it. MACD about to cross back up. Love it. And on top of that, you're about to see higher readings on your oscillator, likely. Higher readings than you've seen, really, dating back to May. May, which was that last little bit of bullishness that you had where you did I mean, how much of a move was this? Like a week from a low to a high, you did a 3x, right? Look at that. You bounced off your oversold zone. You bounced off your oversold zone. Your RSI crossed green, and you saw higher readings than what we've seen here on the oscillators. You're about to do the same thing here. RSI bounced off the 50, and it's bouncing off the 50 here. You guys, trust when I tell you, okay? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. The move that's coming, it's going to be bigger than this. It's going to be bigger than this. Right now, you're in the very forefronts, the very beginnings of a move that is already going to be bigger than what this measurement is taking you to. That's at 0.00218. You're at 0.3082. You're going to go to new all-time highs this month. By the end of this month, maybe even by the end of next week, you're going to be at new all-time highs right before you know it, man. high to low here. Golden ratio interaction once, twice, 3 times, bouncing off the 0.5. Proper reaction now. You're going to rip through it. You're not stopping at the 786, 886. You're probably going to stop either at the 100, 886 area, or you're going all the way up to the 1272. You've consolidated enough in this range. Now, the course of action that's going to take place is going to be more bullish than anything you've seen since January of this year, since the beginning pump of this year, which was spectacular, by the way. How much of a pump was that? From a low to a high. Low point here to a high point here. That was a 20x. Yeah, I could see it. By the end of October, I could see it. Crazy things, you guys. Maybe not that much. But I would expect that by the end of this month, we're at about 0.0045 to 1 cent. And I don't want to hear it. I appreciate everybody. I very much do appreciate the love, but I don't want to hear it when it's the end of the month and we're up at these areas. I don't want to hear people say, wow, good job, you called it, because we've been calling for this for months now. We've been calling for this for months, since back here, since back in May, okay? Yes, we called it. As far as price goes, but as far as time goes, we were way off. So it's going to be something to celebrate nonetheless, but just don't pat me on the back, okay? I'll be happy that I was convinced. You want to pat me on the back, go ahead and say good job for having faith and conviction in this. You know, you gave me the reason to believe, even whenever we were down and moving sideways and being boring, right, all this time. If you want to give me any faith for that or any kind of kudos for that, cool. But definitely not for this move, because I did not call it properly at all. Nonetheless, this is the target area. And I would say, as I have said actually throughout this range, typically in this kind of movement back here, we were expecting that you'd stop here. This is what we were expecting. But now, because of how much you've accumulated, how long you've consolidated, I truly wouldn't be surprised if Toshi ran all the way up to 1 cent. We could even go higher. But let's keep our feet on the ground. Half a cent to about 1 cent, somewhere in that zone. I do like the 0.0069, 0.007, 007 area. I like that as an idea, just above the 1414 here. It makes a lot of sense to me. But again, you have a very massive accumulation phase here. After you had clear interest, okay? And instead of moving down, you had higher lows. You had a flat top. This, when it pops, you're going to erupt. I really wouldn't put 1 cent behind you, but 1 cent or out of the picture. 1 cent is a psychological level of resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if we found turbulence there. In fact, what's Toshi's market cap right now? Toshi's market cap is 345 million. We go up to 1 cent. What would that be? It's about a 13x. About a 13x. 3.5. Be about $5 billion for it. So no psychological resistance there on a market cap level. Okay. I just wouldn't be surprised. And if not there, maybe higher, but the highest I could see you going is 2.6 to 2 cents. You're probably not going to see that by the end of October. But if you do, that'd be the highest. By the end of the year, yes. By the end of the year, higher even. But by the end of October, you've got some very exceptional movement coming your way. Daily time frame, looking at the RSI, bouncing off the 50, stochastics are bullish, and the MACD, again, about to cross all phenomenal things. We look at the weekly time frame. RSI is bullish as hell. Very neutral, but bullish. You're postured in the right way. Man, you look primed and ready. This is fantastic. The stochastics are great, and the MACD is great as well, of course. Yeah. Positive on all fronts. Okay, that's Toshi. If your question comes to mind in this video, okay, but we're up 15% over the past couple of days. Is it a good time to buy? Should I wait for a pullback? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Do you? Wait for a pullback if you want to. Wait to buy back at prior resistance for support? Maybe. That might make sense, right? We take this high to low. You know, we might go up to the 382 and then back down to the 236. But my question to you would then be, an answer to your question would be, is it worth waiting for a 2% drop? Is it worth waiting for this to pull up 4% and then pull back down 2 or 3%? Even if it comes back down, is it worth waiting 10%? Maybe. Maybe you get there. Maybe it is. Is that weight worth missing out on 60% or more growth as our primary targets interact with here? 60% to 90% immediately. Beyond that, if it goes to the target areas that we're talking about, are all the way up here, man. That's like a 500% or more growth. Is 10% worth that? I don't think it is. I think it's a great time to get in now. Turbo. Let's talk about Turbo. Turbo. Sitting here at 0.003885. 3 hours, 40 minutes left in the day here. Turbo also up over the past couple days. I've had a couple people ask about Turbo, and that's actually why I'm throwing it in here, because a lot of you have asked about it, and you seem a little bit concerned too. I say too. The Toshi people are not concerned, but the Turbo people seem to be concerned. I don't get it. Where's the concern? What's the worry? And over the past couple days, like today and yesterday, what's the concern? You're actually up more than Toshi is from your low. Or like 2 days ago, you're about up the same amount actually. You're up 5% today. Don't be concerned, right? The average altcoin today, or if we look at the top performers today, if it'll let me, don't you want to, these ones, they're up. That's cool. Turbo's not up this much, but that's okay. It'll take its turn. Just be patient. You've got some very bullish structuring yourself here, you guys. You've got a horizontal channel, and maybe I don't have it drawn perfectly. Let's see. I would think that this line probably comes up to here. This line probably comes down to here. A little bit of blemishes. Sometimes you get blemishes. That's okay, but it's a horizontal channel. A very bullish phase of accumulation, okay? Here you had one, and it was distribution. It wasn't so bullish, was it? But I think just like back here, you're going to get a similar move. The thing is, if you think about it in terms like this, back whenever we were at our high levels here, all these days that you're at your all-time high areas, you were wishing you bought down in this area. Look at where we are. Look at where we are right now. We are in the lower parts of this area as a whole. If there is a 50% line, it's right here. We're in the lower half. We're like in the lower quarter right now. We're like a quarter of the way through. This is exceptional. This is an exceptional opportunity for Turbo. Now, Turbo has a little bit, does it have a higher market cap or a lower? I thought, let's see, TOSHI, 340. Oh, I thought Turbo had a higher market cap. Lower market cap. Decent volume. This thing has a lot of potential, you guys. Turbo bouncing here. You likely don't stop. I would expect one of two things. Either you stop here and you consolidate and then you rip, or you rip, you back test, and you continue to rip. Or you just rip. One of those three. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be awesome. You're going to new all-time highs, Turbo. And if we're looking at this, before we get there, let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll zoom out, okay? 1 hour time frame. The RSI looks great. There was bearish divergence, but you got rid of that, actually. You have a little bit of a double top here. 36 minutes left. Let's see how this hour closes. If it closes green, that's great. If it doesn't, whatever. You can come down a little bit. You're at 2038. Come down to 20369 for all I care. Who cares? It's not a big deal. Stochastics are bullish. The MACD is bullish. All bullish on all accounts there. 4 hour time frame. RSI looks bullish. Looks like it wants more. But you are pretty overbought. If you see a little turbulence, don't be scared or shocked if we go down to 0.00364. Prior support, prior resistance, right there. It could happen. Let's even look here. Let's assume that we're topping off here, which I don't think we are. I think you continue more, but maybe. That lines up perfectly with your 382. So if Bitcoin, if the rest of the market takes a little shakeout, just a quick little dip, and then we rip back up going into the next couple of days here, I would heavily anticipate 20364 to be an area for support for Turbo, okay? I'm not saying we go down there, but what I am saying is that you're at the highest levels on your RSI that you've been at since August. Might be a red flag. Maybe it's not the best time to buy right now, but again, is it worth waiting? Is a 6% drop worth waiting compared to the new all-time high potential we have? Stochastics look great. The MACD looks great as well. Yeah. We talk about new all-time highs. Let's get into it. The daily time frame. First off, though, RSI looks great. Stochastics look great, and the MACD is crossing green. All positive things. Bullish divergence on the MACD. Oscillators here, higher lows, lower lows there. Bullish divergence. Bouncing right off the oversold zone. You look spectacular. When you do see new all-time highs, let's get into it. The area that I would expect, and just looking at this overall, doesn't it look like Turbo's in one giant pattern, right? Like this is one giant diamond, parallelogram, whatever you want to call it. If that's not a diamond, whatever, this is definitely some type of symmetrical triangle here. And this has that symmetrical triangle look over here. It looks like a diamond to me. It really does look like a diamond. Diamonds are kind of ugly, and that's how diamonds wick outside their patterns. You know that they do. What's crazy is it's like you've got a diamond here, and you've got like a diamond here inside of your diamond overall. Anyways, it looks like you're in a giant consolidation phase. This whole time you've been consolidating. So when you break out, I would expect you move similar to what you did here. Maybe not exactly the same, just similar in a time perspective, in a price perspective. So, if we do that, do we have ghost lines? Where are those ghost lines at? Is it here? Or is it this one? Where forecast? It might be this one. Nope, not that. Not that. Which one is it? Where? I think it is called ghost lines. I forget what it is, but let's just see here. Hold on. Ghost feed. There we go. This movement here. Oops. Why is it doing that? Why? Anyways, that's a failed project right there. All I'm trying to say is we're probably going to see something similar. Killed the momentum there. If we see something similar, that's albeit even a little bit smaller than that, that should take us all the way up to 30 cents. You're not even at a tenth of that right now, man. That's crazy. High to low. Again, is it worth waiting for a 6% drop to miss out on what could potentially be, I mean, at a minimum, a 7x move to a 16x move? 7x to 16x, this could be by the end of October, if not certainly by the end of the year. Going into the end of the cycle, we're looking for anything from like a 29x to a 75x or more. The most I'd see for Turbo, I mean, you could stop at 66 cents. Maybe you go higher. You've got a very low market cap, man. You could see crazy, crazy stuff with this. Let's see, 100x from here would put you at $26 billion. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't go up this high. The highest I'd see is 66 cents, but still, that's crazy. 30 cents to 66 cents, that's where I think Turbo will be by the end of the cycle. But by the end of the year, you'll probably be somewhere around 15 cents to 10 cents would be my guess. Going into the end of October, you could be as high as 3 cents or even more, genuinely. And if you're not there by the end of October, cool. Maybe by the end of the year you're there. And then going into Q2, you might be reaching for 30 cents. But I would very much expect that at a minimum, Turbo sees a 12-cent target by the end of this cycle, which would be about a 30x from here. Massive potential, right? And again, just looking at this for what it is, think of it like this. We're going to redraw this all, okay? Look at this. This right here is below the line that we drew out here, which that line was taken from a rough measurement of this here. Let's be precise. Let's pretend like what you have here is a sequence of events, right? Where you pump, right? You move up, you consolidate, you move up again, you consolidate, you move up again, right? You have a sequence of events. Typically with something like this, it's not a bull flag, so I'm not don't expect it to perform exactly like a bull flag, though to be fair, it actually kind of has that resemblance, doesn't it? I wonder if we're on a monthly time frame. To be completely fair, it actually looks like a bull flag on a month. On the monthly time frame, it looks a lot like a bull flag. Wow. If it is a bull flag, from a low to a high, let's just take this high and be conservative. We won't even take the overall high. We'll just take this high and be conservative. We put it at the low, that would give you a 20-cent price, okay? If we're taking it out of context from a bull flag, we're measuring this move and we're just measuring the breakout point here, that puts you at about a 55-cent price. Anything and everything in between is fair game. And again, we line this up with our high to our low here, and that 2272, 2618 area, it encapsulates a good bit of what we just did there by eyeballing it. I feel like 30 cents to 66 cents is exactly where you're going to go by the end of this cycle. But looking at this on a weekly time frame, oh, sounds like my daughter just hurt herself opening the dryer. She heard the dryer go off and she likes to help, and yeah, she says I want to take a nap. Now she wants to take a nap. That's sad. I'm so sorry. She's okay though. She's definitely okay. My wife's out there with her. But anyways, the weekly RSI here is neutral. I feel so bad. Neutral, bouncing off the 40 here. Overall, very, very bullish. I think that you're getting geared up to move up higher. Stochastic's bouncing off the oversold zone, and the MACD here looks like it wants to go up as well. You know, you're cross red a little bit right now, but let's just wait and see what happens. I think that you're at a very good point to find support. I think that you will find support and move higher. I don't have anything else that I want to say. I'm just going to go make sure everything's okay. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye.